Part 2. Welcome gamers, Critical Blindside here. Before I jump into this part 2 of my girl gaming series, I would like to first just thank everybody who viewed my last video. Because of all of you and your hard work, this has now become my most popular video I've ever done, ever. I can't even really believe I'm saying this, but the video has reached double digits in views, so it's up to 11 now. Moving on, kind of like to thank my family and like the 3 people that I sent that to and actually viewed it. If it wasn't for them, I'd probably have like 4 or 5 views. So I don't know what to do without them, and I'm just so excited about it. But in all seriousness, that kind of begs the question of why I'm doing this. So why put myself out there? Why do this? Why waste my time? And I'd like to take just a minute to kind of answer that. Ever since I started this YouTube thing, I've loved it. Every time I sit down and do a recording or piece together a video, even though it's extremely sloppy and rough, I enjoy it. It de-stresses me. I can just sort of sit down and let whatever small creative rivers flow. And I usually don't get a channel or a medium in which to do that. And it's very nice to just kind of sit here and create something. And then at the end of the day, I can sit back and say, look what I've created. It might be a little piece of junk, but I can still kind of look back and say, I've created something, and I'm kind of proud of it. I mean, I know when I look back at this in a year from now, if I keep this up, I'll probably laugh at what I'm making now. But, you know, everybody has to start somewhere, and I enjoy it. I really like it a lot. And the goal is just to kind of give to people what's been given to me by other YouTubers. So I think that's the heart of YouTube content creation, and I think it's what really drives creative media on YouTube. So if I can be a part of that, then I just think that would be an incredible experience. So again, I'm playing Antichamber. This game is definitely growing on me, and it's kind of merging into the addictive zone for me, which is not good. Thank goodness that this game is reported to be a little bit on the shorter side. And again, I said it in the first video, the art and the style of this game is just, it's intoxicating. And that's one of the biggest draws of this game, is the style of it and the art and definitely the puzzles. But you're just drawn into this game because it immerses you in this world, and you just want to keep exploring, and you want to keep going, and you want to keep solving these puzzles, even though they do rack your brain and frustrate you and all this other stuff. At the end of it, it's one of those games to where you just can't put it down, and you look at the clock and it's 3 in the morning. Again, definitely pick it up at any time, especially if it's on sale like it is now. And without further ado, we're going to get into the actual topic of this video, girl gamers, and why they are more important than you may think. So, along the course of my little interview I had with my friend, most of the questions that I asked her, I got a kind of a response I was expecting, but a few of them really threw me for a loop. So some of the typical answers that I got from her was, how does she feel whenever she's in a lobby, a typical lobby like a Call of Duty or a Halo lobby? And she gave a response of, usually there's 1 or 2 bad apples who do the sexual remarks to her about her body, or show her boobs, or private message me later, that kind of thing. And to this point, she's just kind of ignored it, and she doesn't even really hear it anymore. But that alone is just something that I think is just despicable. This is something that she admits that she does as a stress relief, and that she can kind of relax and come into play, and she has to come into a lobby that she has to be sexually demeaned to. And I think it's despicable that it's like that, and that whenever a woman goes into a lobby, it doesn't matter if she's hot or not, just because it's a woman's voice, there has to be someone in the lobby that will try to sexually exploit her. And I just think that it's 2014, and I can't believe I'm still having to talk about this. It's just extremely childish, and it's one of the things that whenever the outsiders look at on the inside of gaming, this is what they see, and this is what sticks out like a sore thumb. And we as gamers really need to come together to thwart this, I mean, really any way possible. And we need to get our gamer girls comfortable to where they can just kind of come in and relax and not have to worry about this crap. So that is something we all kind of need to nip in the bud real quick. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit here. And the next thing that kind of really made me think, and this is actually something that I've done, I'm kind of guilty of it. So she says that it's almost as bad as what we were just discussing with being sexually talked down to, is whenever she does do well, whenever she is in a lobby where she does better than 75% of the people in there, and the guys who are trying to be nice or whatever it is will send her a message or will talk to her and say, oh, you did really well for a girl, or hey, your kill-death ratio is pretty high for a woman. And she says that is just absolutely just one of the worst things ever, because not only does she play this game to relax and to de-stress, but she also has invested time in it to become better and to sharpen her skills and to not be the lagging teammate that the other people have to carry. And she takes a little bit of pride in that, and she's tried really hard to get to where she is. And on top of everything that she has to deal with just being a woman, she now has to worry about a guy putting a caveat in there about he'll never do as good as a man. And she just didn't know why that instantly she has to be separated into a subcategory just because she's a woman. So, and I have to admit, I remember myself doing that. I don't remember myself doing it anytime recently, just because I don't play a whole lot of multiplayer games anymore, but I remember doing that, and I remember not even thinking about it, that I was trying to be nice. So as guy gamers, we just kind of need to step back and just kind of evaluate how we're treating girl gamers, and it really does help to just sit and talk to one. I mean, I would have never figured out about the for a girl caveat if it wasn't for talking to her. And now that I am aware about it, it's kind of like one of those duh moments to where obviously that's not a thing I should do, and I won't do it anymore. That's just a few things that as guys we just kind of need to be aware of, and we need to work on if we're gonna try to include girls and bring them to the forefront, which I think is absolutely a necessity at this point. So if you look at casual gaming and you look at mobile gaming, it is dominated by women, especially older women, and they've only had a few years to do this. So I don't know about any of you guys, but I want to see that kind of revenue and that kind of money being pumped into AAA games and to maybe indie games and other games that aren't seeing that kind of development because they're being squandered by all these mobile games and casual games. So if that market is being fueled by women and being fueled by that demographic, then I think it's imperative to get that demographic involved in the type of games that us men like to play. So if we could do that, I think it'd be good for everybody. We would have more diverse lobbies. People on the outside would look in with a little bit more respect and a little bit more reverence, as opposed to them just saying, oh, it's a bunch of kids who just live in their parents' basement. So I think we all just need to do a little bit extra to kind of pitch in and to get these girls on board, and I think we'll all be better as a result of it. So that just about does it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for clicking on my video. I really appreciate all the views and the likes and all that. I know I joked about the little amount of views and you guys working hard for it, but really every single time I hit refresh and I see another view on my video, it just fills me with joy. So I hope to keep producing content for you guys, and I'll do it until it stops becoming fun. And if you enjoy it, please subscribe and tell your friends about it. That just about does it. Thanks for tuning in. Blindside out, and I'll see you next time.